Many of us see ourselves as a law-abiding citizen. But do you know that there are 5 things we might be unknowingly doing that could get us into serious trouble? Now, chances are that you have done at least one of them in recent time without realizing it. Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what those things are and how to avoid them. Let's get into it. Number 1, accepting a delivery package for someone. See, we all like to be a good neighbor and lend a helping hand, right? After all, there's a popular saying that helping one person might not change the whole world, but it can change the world for that one person. At one time or the other, we would have accepted a package for a friend or a neighbor, even though there's nothing wrong about this. But did you know that one of the biggest risks of accepting packages on someone else's behalf here in the UK is unknowingly becoming part of a fraud scam operation? Now, let me explain. Criminals today are more smarter than you can ever imagine. They often take advantage of people's goodwill by using their address to receive a stolen or fraudulent goods. This is more popular today than ever before. When I used to work with a telecommunication company here in the UK, we often receive on a daily basis loads of calls from the public and even from customers asking whether we had mistakenly sent a package or if we had asked them to forward the parcel to another address. And here is our response. We always make it clear to them that we will never send a package to random people and will never ask anyone to forward a parcel on our behalf. Any such request should be disregarded. Honestly, we are not saying you should never accept a package for someone. Now, the purpose of this video is to expose the tricks that fraudsters are using to defraud people these days and also to take advantage of people. Now, here is how they operate. Someone might ask you to accept a delivery for them because they are busy at work and don't want to miss the courier. Now, on the surface, it may sound very innocent and very harmless, yes? But do you know that that package may contain goods that is bought with a stolen credit card details or item that is tied to fraud? So once you receive that goods, your name and your address become part of the delivery record, which can directly link you to that crime. Apparently, a crime you completely know nothing about. Even if you don't know anything about the crime, this can directly put you in a vulnerable situation because law enforcement or delivery company can trace back the package back to your address. Once that happens, you may face questioning or you become suspicious while investigators work very hard to rule out your involvement. And during this process, clearing your name can take time and it can cause you a lot of stress and even damage your reputation, especially if it is linked to a large sum of money. Now, here is another trick they use these days. In some cases, these fraudsters may just send an unexpected parcel to your home address, and then you see them show up pretending to live in the neighborhood to collect those parcels. And if they succeed, then you will be unknowingly becoming a middleman in their criminal chain. Now, if you experience any of this, the best option is to call the police immediately. So the lesson here is very simple. What seems like a small favor will spiral up into a serious issue. So always think twice before agreeing to accept any package that is not yours. Now, if you must accept any package that is not yours or for someone you trust, make sure that that parcel clearly has their name and their address on it, not your own. Now, if it carries your address without your permission, that is a red flag you should never ignore. And number 2, leaving the shop without paying for an item. I know what you're thinking. You could conclude that you can never walk out of a store or a shop without paying for the item you've bought. But this is what I mean. You see, life is full of challenges, and every single person you meet on the street is facing one challenge or the other. Some are struggling with health challenges, some are struggling with financial challenges, and some with family issues. You see, sometimes these challenges can bring about distraction, and that distraction can make us to become forgetful. Now, let me ask you, have you ever walked out of a shop with an item only to realize halfway home that you have not paid for it? So if your answer is yes, then you are not alone. See, many people have made the same innocent mistake. Now, not because they intend to shoplift, but simply because they are distracted or as a result of oversight. Now, in countries like the UK or the US, where the perception of immigrants have become very sensitive in recent time, this kind of mistake can have a serious consequences, no matter how small the item is. Now, if the police get involved, it may be treated as shoplifting, which is seen as a criminal offense. Now, for immigrants in particular, such an offense may not be easily overlooked. In fact, some grocery stores have security alarm that goes off if someone tries to leave with an item that has not been paid for. Now, if this happens, it can bring about serious embarrassment and the store staff can take action against you. That is why it is very important to stay mindful and focused while shopping. Now, before you leave the shopping mall, pause for a moment and ask yourself a few questions. Have all the items in the shopping basket or the trolley been scanned and paid for? Or are you holding anything in your hand or in your pocket that you have forgotten to pay for? If you unknowingly walk out of the store with an unpaid item, now the danger is this: shop staffs or the security guard won't know it was a mistake. To them, you are walking out with an unpaid goods, and they are trained to act swiftly. They may stop you, they may get their manager involved, or even call the police. Now, when the police get involved, explaining yourself at that particular position will be very difficult. Now, to prevent this from happening, these are few habits that can protect you. Always keep your receipt as a proof of purchase. Use a shopping basket or trolley so that all your items will be in one place. Doing so will reduce your chances of missing anything out. Now, one more thing. If you realize after leaving the shop that you've not paid for an item, it is best to go back to the shop immediately. Now, in most cases, it is best to be honest. And number 3, recording an individual without their knowledge. Today, almost everyone has a recording application on their phone. It can be a very useful tool when it is used in the right way. There's no doubt about that. For example, you can use it to record a meeting so that you can remember what was said, or you can use it to capture a conversation for your own personal use. However, the problem begins when that recording is shared with a third party. Now, let's take the workplace as an example. You may have a disagreement with your boss and you decided to record the conversation. Or maybe you record a private conversation with your colleague. Even though there's nothing wrong about doing this, but if that recording is later shared with others or posted on social media, it can create a serious issue. What was meant to be private has now become public. Now, under the UK GDPR regulation, this is regarded as a privacy breach, which carries legal consequences. So it is important to ask yourself before you start the recording, why am I recording this? Or who am I recording it for? Now, if your answer is for your own personal use, then it's okay to keep it private. But if your goal is to embarrass someone or to win an argument or perhaps to spread a gossip, then that action becomes illegal. So the best approach is to be open. If you want to record a meeting or a conversation, ask for permission first. If you must record and because you want to protect yourself, then it is best to let the person know that you are going to record this conversation because you don't want to take chances. By so doing, you have released yourself of any legal consequences that may arise. And number 4, keeping item you find on the street. Now, what exactly do we mean? You see, at times, walking on the street, you may find a valuable item on the floor, something like cash, a wallet, or even a mobile phone. Then you may conclude that the owner must have misplaced it, and it's okay to keep it. Keeping them may seem very harmless at first, but in reality, it carries a serious and legal consequences. You see, at some point in time, many of us have misplaced something valuable, and at that point, our hope is that the person who finds it will try to return it. Now, if you find something and you choose instead to keep it when you know it doesn't belong to you, it's legally treated as a theft here in the UK. Under the Theft Act of 1968, if you find a property and you decide to keep it without making any attempt to trace a rightful owner, you can be prosecuted for it. You see, the law recognizes that the item is not yours, and keeping it is an act of dishonesty. Now, the seriousness increases if that item is of high value, such like a mobile phone, a wallet containing money, or bank card. A real example took place in Manchester in 2022. A man was caught on a CCTV camera picking up a dropped wallet in a shopping center. Now, instead of handing it to the security or trying to find the right owner, he left the mall and he used the bank card to carry out contactless purchases. He was later tracked down by the police and he was charged with theft and fraud. His action resulted into a criminal record. Now, beyond all this legal punishment, it could bring embarrassment and damage your reputation. So the lesson is simple. If you find a valuable item on the street and there's no security officer around, don't just pick it. It could be a trap. Now, the best choice is to leave it if it doesn't belong to you. And number 5, leaving children home alone. We all understand how challenging it can be for parents to juggle full-time employment and childcare. To be honest, it can be very difficult, especially with the current cost of living crisis. Despite many parents' efforts, some parents still, because of work commitment, end up leaving their children home alone. But do you know that leaving children home alone is a serious issue in the UK? Children under the age of 12 are usually not considered matured enough to cope on their own. Now, the thing is, if they find themselves in a dangerous situation, knowing what to do at that point can be very difficult for them. Even older children can struggle sometimes when something unexpected happens, like a fire outbreak, a stranger knocking on the door, or even accident happen in the house. For example, in 2019, a mother from Nottingham was charged after leaving her young children alone while she went out. The children were crying after fire broke out from their flat, and neighbors could only help to call the police. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, but the court said that the children were put in danger. As a result, they were taken from their mother and moved them into a foster care home. This clearly shows that leaving children home alone is not only unsafe, but can also bring serious legal consequences, and it can also bring about devastation on the part of the parents themselves. And I hope you find value in this video. If you have watched this video up to this time, I want to say thank you. Be sure to check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.